Hi everybody, my name is Jaylene. I am a social work intern at the Adult Day Healthcare Center of Madera. There, I've been completing my hours with my mentor or supervisor. Um, and basically, what I do at the Adult Day Healthcare Center, I do shadow the social workers that are on site. And they specifically, they're a community based program that provides comprehensive social and supportive services to older adults with disabilities and chronic illnesses. One of the main things that they do have to be able to be enrolled in the program is that they have to have Medi-Cal. And along with Medi-Cal, they do have to have some type of chronic illness like diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, to be able to be enrolled in the program. So that is one of the two things that they have to have in order to be a participant there. And of course, they have to be 18 or older. They do not provide any type of childcare services, so it is very important that it's just the adult themselves that attends the program. And at the program, they help serve individuals who require assistance with medical, physical, emotional, and social needs while allowing them to remain in their homes and their communities. So it is a day program where they go to for the day, and there is like a program calendar slash schedule that is on site that they can follow. So it's just a day full of activities for them so they can socialize and be with other adults while also promoting their independence of like fine movement, fine motor movement, their coordination, their balance, and everything like that. So as an intern, I have seen that they do exercise, they do coloring, they do beading. Um, what else do they do? They play bingo, they play loteria, they play matching games for their memory, they play like those word searches. And so everything that they do there is to help promote their independence more than anything. One of the main roles that I have there as a social work intern is that I am in charge of making phone calls for the participants who are absent. So if they don't let us know that they're going to be absent, one of my jobs is to call them and ask them where they've been, basically. So it's very important. Communication is something very important at the center between the participants and the staff that works there. So throughout my phone calls that I conduct, I do follow up with them, making sure they're okay. And if it's been several days where they're not answering, one of the things that we do is that the social workers have to conduct a home visit. So if they're not answering, we can't get a hold of them, they're not calling back, a social work visit is necessary to do so. Excuse me. So that's just one of the procedures and responsibilities that I've seen the social workers have, and one of their practices that they have on site. So mission and goals of the agency include providing high quality services that promote independence, dignity, health, and overall well-being for adults and adults with disabilities. So according to the agency and their philosophy, they're built upon three pillars, which is nurturing care, safety, comfort, and shared joy. The overall goal of the agency is to prevent unnecessary institutionalization by helping participants maintain their highest possible level of function and independence. So, in addition, the agency seeks to support caregivers by providing respite and coordinated services that address participants' physical, emotional, and social needs. So at the center, there are several people that help promote all of those, which are the social workers. We have our administration, our program director, our social workers, our nurses, speech therapy, physical therapy, our speech therapist, our dietitian, our program aides, and together, and our transportation staff. We all work together to promote as much independence as we can at the center. And together, they come up with an individualized care plan for each participant. And based on that care plan is how they determine like what exactly it is that they need and what can be done so that their lifestyle can be improved. So once that plan is developed, they do go over it with the participant and just once it's reviewed with them, they sign it if they're okay with it, and if they're not okay with it, they do additional changes to it based on their care plan. So every 6 months, they're reevaluated and they're seeing how much they've progressed. I mean, what can be changed, just so their level of independence doesn't change; it just increases more and more. So our culture at the center has a lot to do with adults. We do serve a very diverse culture at the center, but one of the main things is that we create an environment that is welcoming for the participants, where they feel respected and they feel valued more than anything. And that'll only happen through the activities that we conduct, and of course through the interactions that we have with them um, on a daily basis. So that's something that we are working on, because we want to promote compassion, their dignity, and respect towards each other, and of course towards us as well as the staff. So, like I mentioned earlier, one of the policies was that if the participants aren't showing up to the center, um, they do get home visits or they get phone calls to just make sure they're okay. So that's something that's very important, is that once they're enrolled, um, there's like basically not getting rid of them unless they indicate it. So unless they don't want to be called, unless they don't want to be followed up upon, they have to be the one to let us know, and it's documented that they don't want to be followed up on, so we don't follow up with them. And it can get pretty stressful, getting phone calls on a day to day, or being able to attend on a daily basis while having other things to do. But that's where the communication comes in play, and it's very important that they communicate with us when they're going to be absent. So one of the things at the center is that they incorporate evidence-based practices through assessments and individualized care planning. So where all of the teams come together and they create a care plan for them in order for them to be at their highest level of function, so they can be just reaching all of their milestones versus regressing. So that's something that's very important for them. So some of the systemic and holistic barriers that I've seen are like we do serve a lot of the participants who have Medi-Cal, so they're below the poverty line. Transportation difficulties, language barriers, or a lot of them are Spanish speaking. Some of them no longer speak, so it's really hard for us to understand them. There's limited healthcare access and social isolation. So one of the things that I've seen them improve is the transportation. Our program provides transportation to and from the center, as long as they're coming to the center for the classes or the program that's there. So going back onto what they provide, is they provide support for adults, and that's anything that has to do with social work or social services, which is any questions or resources. If there's anything that isn't on site, so we have a licensed clinical social worker on site, but she's not there every day. And if the participants are needing more one-to-one for mental health, there's a lot of resources that we can refer them to. For example, the food bank, if they're needing more food that aren't available directly at the center, so they can have all the resources that they need, and so they can reach the highest level of independence and the highest level of dignity and the quality of life for themselves that we're able to give them. So that's very something that they're very fond upon, and so they will um, what do you call it? Promote that as much as they can there. So I do value a lot my internship and where I'm at, just because it's the community where I've grown up at, and it's just for me to give back to my community.